Commanders took a tough loss here in Week 4, losing to the Atlanta Falcons on the road by a final score of 34-27. And I think the question that is on a lot of Commanders fans' minds right now is, does this defense officially stink? We're going to answer that question on today's post-game edition of the Commanders Report. For all of our post-game shows this year, make sure you click that subscribe button. Next week, it's certainly going to be a challenge going up against the Los Angeles Chargers, but they did lose to the New York Giants today, so you never know here, guys. But click that subscribe button. We're going to be here no matter what the Washington Commanders do this year. Win, lose, or draw, we will always have a post-game show ready for you guys after every Commanders game. So just talking about the result in this one, if you would have told me that Marcus Mariota and in this Commanders offense without Terry McLaurin was going to put up 27 in this ball game, I would say that you'd probably have a pretty decent chance of coming away with a victory. But this Falcons team that scored 0 points against a bad Carolina Panther defense last week scored 34 on this Commanders defense today. I thought they came out with a really good plan. Kudos to them. But Michael Penix Jr., who has really struggled to start his career, 20 of 26 for over 300 yards passing and 2 touchdowns, threw a really bad interception. He had a couple really bad moments in this game, but the Commanders could not capitalize on it. Bijan Robinson also ran all over them. Not only did he have 75 yards receiving, but he added a lot more than that as a receiver. Drake London had over 100 yards today on 8 catches. Absolutely barbecue chicken on the other side of the pitch there on the Commanders defense. We'll be talking about that quite a bit. But on the other side of the ball, Marcus Mariota, I thought didn't play a great game today. Thought he played all right at times, but certainly he could tell that he didn't have enough weapons out there. Chris Rodriguez Jr. Had a long run at the beginning of the game. He ended up being the leading rusher, but I actually thought Bill Krosky-Merritt was the best running back on the Commanders today. And then Deebo Samuel, 72 yards today. Decent game. He had a couple nice routes and a couple nice catches close to the sideline, but certainly not enough to get the victory. In terms of injuries, the one that we have is Javonte Jean-Baptiste. He came out of the game with a pec injury. He was seen in a sling after the game. Dan Quinn didn't provide any updates on him and his future status, but certainly doesn't look great heading into Week 5. And he was the replacement for Dietrich Wise, so it seems like Preston Smith would be asked to really pick up the slack at that kind of 5-technique, kind of hybrid defensive end role. It's very specialized in this Commanders defense, so certainly we're hoping Javonte can get back as soon as possible. Now let's get into the takeaways here, starting up with the offensive side of the ball. Offense was clearly missing some juice in this one. I thought there was some nice moments, specifically from Deebo Samuel getting open, making some nice catches. I thought Jacory Krosky-Merritt had a pretty decent game. We'll get to him in a second here, but certainly offense was missing some juice. Whenever you're missing your star quarterback and your star wide receiver, things are going to be missing a little bit, and that was certainly the case. And that's why it's time for Jayden Daniels to make his return, all right? I think that it's good to have Marcus Mariota as this backup that can come in and play serviceable football and against bad teams, even keep this offense afloat to the point where you're scoring 30 points a game. But today was probably his worst game as a Washington Commander. It certainly wasn't all his fault in this game. I don't blame him whatsoever. He still got this team to 27 points at the end of the day. But he had a really bad interception. He had some really badly placed balls, had a couple overthrows. But it's just time, guys. It's time for Jayden Daniels to come off the injury report here, get back onto the field, and help try and lead this team to a victory against a tough Chargers defense next weekend. But I would sign another receiver. I really would, guys. I thought there were some moments where Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey looked good, but they were putting Chris Moore out there a lot today over Luke McCaffrey. It doesn't seem like they have a ton of confidence in this group. And if Terry McLaurin is going to be out for a while, and like this injury sounds like it could be pretty fickle. It sounds like it has to do with his hip flexor, and he wasn't able to run last week at all. It just doesn't sound like an injury that's going to be fixed with 1 week and then you're back. I hope I'm wrong on that. But if I'm the Commanders, I'm giving a call. I've been saying it for the last 2 weeks here. Give Deontay Johnson a call. I think that getting that kind of route runner can be huge for this team. Even when Terry McLaurin gets back, I think Deontay can be a very solid piece to this wide receiver room. It just feels like you're missing something in that group right now, and teams are sitting in man coverage too often for my liking. But I thought it was a decent game for Luke McCaffrey. He had a touchdown reception today, and where I was really impressed with Luke was his kickoff return ability. I mean, he is this team's kickoff return man. He's pretty darn good at it. I think every single time he got this team to at least the 30, if not past the 30. And, today had those 2 catches for 21 yards and a touchdown, but, he was being taken off the field for Chris Moore at times, guys. Like, I think it's pretty clear that this team doesn't trust Luke McCaffrey as much as maybe some of the fan base does, because his last name is McCaffrey and they spent a 3rd-round pick on him. I think that for what he is, he's a good contributor, and, he can be a really good special teams piece, but, with all these injuries and McCaffrey is still not stepping up in a huge way, I think it's time to start to come to a realization here that Luke McCaffrey is what he is. But I also thought it was a good game for Bill Krosky-Merritt. I thought that, alongside Debo, like, he was the one providing the most splash. He was making guys miss in the backfield and, creating extra rush lanes. His jump cut is electric. Today, he had 47 rush yards. He averaged 6.7 yards per rush. That is a really, really good number. And if the Commanders weren't just down by 2 scores for most of the second half, maybe we would have been able to see more of JCM in the second half. But I thought he had a really good game. He made a really tough catch on a play that ended up being a penalty on the Falcons. That didn't count towards his stat line, but I thought JCM was the Commanders' best running back today. I like I like Chris Rodriguez Jr. and I like Jeremy McNichols as well. But I think Jacory Krosky-Merritt is the best running back on this team and should be getting a majority of the carries moving forward. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comment section and grade today's performance from the Commanders. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. I got to give this performance probably like a D+. Defense was absolutely terrible. We're going to get to some defensive takeaways here in just a second and talk about what's going wrong with this defensive unit. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a few seconds, and I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Omaha Steaks. While I'm telling you about our sponsor today, give me a grade for today's performance for the Commanders. For me, it's a D. Then we get to our sponsor today, which is Omaha Steaks. Omaha Steaks is absolutely fantastic, guys. And from handcrafted steaks to delicious fall favorites, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. Enjoy USDA-certified tender steaks, juicy burgers, cozy and convenient comfort meals, plus tailgating favorites like chicken wings, smash burgers, and big deli-style franks. And now during their Red Hot Sale event, you can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code NFL Daily at checkout. So not only do you get the 50% off discount, guys, but you also get an additional $35 off when you use code NFL Daily. So just to walk you through what that looks like here, you guys can get any assortment that you guys look at when it comes to Omaha Steaks. They got a whole bunch of assortments here. You can get 22 total items here of premium quality meat with the classic favorites assortment, for example, which is usually $266 at full price. Because of the Red Hot sale that they're doing right now, it's only $130. And if you use our code NFL Daily, it's another $35 off. So for an assortment of meat, of high-quality meat here, that was previously $266. You can get that same assortment for less than $100 today when you use our code NFL Daily when you go to omahasteaks.com. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks today. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event and an extra $35 off. Use promo code NFL Daily at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com plus an extra $35 off with promo code NFL Daily at checkout. See site for details. A big thank you to Omaha Steaks for sponsoring today's edition of the Commanders Report. Continuing on here to the defensive side of the ball, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a bit worried about the Commanders' defense, all right? And, today it was more than just the secondary. I thought the defensive line wasn't tackling well enough in the run game today. I thought that the linebackers didn't do a good enough job tackling today. And the defense, went up against a struggling, technically, second-year quarterback, but really like his first full season as a starter, a rookie quarterback pretty much, and Michael Penix Jr. give up over 300 yards passing. There was guys wide-ass open down the field. Bijan Robinson was killing you as a receiver today. Drake London was killing you as a receiver today with over 100 receptions or receiving yards and a touchdown. There's just nobody in the secondary that can cover. There was nobody in the defensive front that could tackle today. And now this is the second time this season where we've seen this team go up against a McVay-style offense and get absolutely shellacked. All right, and a lot of the issues come from the secondary, and let's start with the person that was tasked with being this team's number one cornerback this year, and Marshon Lattimore. And is it time to give up on him? I think it's a legitimate question. If the Commanders decided to let go of Marshon Lattimore this week and sign Stephon Gilmore to replace him, I wouldn't bat an eye. Marshon Lattimore was absolutely atrocious today, and I think he'd be the first one to tell you that. He was not good whatsoever. It doesn't matter who he was guarding, whether it was Darnell Mooney or Drake London or whoever he was guarding. They got whatever they wanted on him. There was a play today where Marshon Lattimore held Drake London, and he still got burnt on a double move down the field against Drake London, even though Drake London runs like 4'6". All right, so this is just an absolute embarrassment that we have seen from Marshon Lattimore. I thought he was turning a corner last week against Vegas because he had a decent game against Vegas, but that offense and that team just in general for Las Vegas is just not very good. Let's just be completely honest here, all right? And, you face a competent offense today with some good receivers, and you see what happens. Marshon Lattimore got absolutely cooked. He needs to turn it around fast, or he's going to be looking for a job here pretty soon because it was a joke what he put out on the field today. But it's not just Marshon, guys. It'd be one thing if we could just point to one player and be like, replace this player and it all gets fixed. But I don't know if that's the case, guys. Mike Sainristil had an interception today, but he got cooked in coverage again. I think all 4 games, Mike Sainristil has been really bad in coverage throughout the first month of the year, and which is a big turnaround from where it was last year, where he was actually pretty good on the outside for this football team. Hasn't been good to start this season. And then Trey Amos gave up over 40 yards receiving today. That was a little bit different from what we've seen from him in the first month of the season to this point. And then Quan Martin. I mean, Quan Martin has just been absolutely terrible to start this football campaign. And then he lost Will Harris. And honestly, I didn't think Jeremy Reeves was really looking like an NFL starter out there, if I'm being completely honest with you. So if I'm the Commanders, I'm seriously considering for sure bringing in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Somebody that's a free agent here, somebody that can help out this secondary at safety, and then maybe cut Marshon Lattimore, save like the $15 million that you can still save by cutting him, and then use that cap savings to bring in Stephon Gilmore. Gilmore has played in this defense. He's played it at a high level. I just can't see how he could be any worse than Marshon Lattimore at this point in time. But it wasn't just the secondary, guys. It was the linebacker play, and specifically Bobby Wagner. I mean, these teams, these smart play callers are identifying Bobby Wagner, who is slow as a snail at this point in his career. He's still a very physical, a very smart football player. He's a good run defender. He's a good blitzer. But, man, he is terrible out in coverage, whether it's man coverage, whether it's zone coverage. He just can't move. And these teams that have these speedy type of weapons, it just looks like a night and day compared to what their offense and what the Commanders' defensive personnel looks like with all these oldies in there. And then the final thing that the Commanders need to get better at is on third down on both sides of the ball. They were 1 for 8 on third down on offense today, and the Falcons were much better on third down than I would like to see moving forward. So got to be better on third down as well. And that's kind of where I'm at with my takeaways here, guys. It was not a good performance today. I'm hoping for a better performance next week. The Chargers might be down a little bit. They just lost to the New York freaking Giants and Jackson Dart. And, of course, we know the Commanders pretty handily took down the New York Giants. So hopefully next week the Commanders can bounce back just like they did last week against the Raiders, but certainly not a good day if you're a Commanders fan here in Week 4. So point the finger for me down there in the comments section. Who's the most to blame for today's loss? Is it Marshon Lattimore? Is it Joe Witt Jr.? Is it Marcus Mariota? Is it somebody else? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. But maybe my last takeaway here, guys, before I say goodbye here, Matt Gay, 4 for 4 on field goals today. You can say whatever you want about this football team this week. It wasn't on Matt Gay, all right? Good performance from him. Kudos to him. Hit a 50-plus yarder as well. But like I said at the beginning of today's show, guys, I don't think this one's on the offense. Like I said it early on, like, is missing a little something. You're excited to get Jayden Daniels and Terry McLaurin eventually back in this offense. But if you told me at the beginning of this game, you're getting 27 points out of Marcus Mariota in this offense with no Terry, no Jayden, no Noah, no John Bates, I would have taken that. And I thought the 27 points might be enough to get a win today. But Kudos to the Falcons. They played a good football game. They played much better than the Commanders did, and I'm praying that Joe Witt and Dan Quinn, two defensive coaches, can figure things out on the defensive side of the ball here in the nation's capital. That'll be it for today's show, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by with me here in this post-game reaction. Tomorrow we will have an Overreaction Monday video for you guys on this channel talking about the latest news and rumors surrounding the Washington Commanders. If they sign a player, if they bring in Deontay Johnson, if they bring in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, if they bring in somebody else this week, try and bolster this roster, we're going to let you guys know. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Until next time, guys, hail to the Commanders.